Hi, my name is George Dagnino. I'm the editor of the Peter Deck Portfolio. You can see all my videos here on YouTube, or otherwise follow me on Twitter. What I would like to review today is charts of some superb stocks and companies that have been highly ranked by our methods for relative strength and performance. These are some samples. But first of all, let me start with the trend of the market. This is the S&P 500. What is interesting here, I drew a channel and since 2009 to 2019 in January. And what is interesting that the way the channel was drawn, that the market always bounced up when it hit this line, it hit this line here, and hit this line here. Here is now a little iffy, and if you follow the indicators I discussed in previous tweets, you know what this is an area of concern. I drew another uh, line as another trend line, uh, the blue dotted line, where the market bounced here, 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 and then here. So there are more bounces off this blue line than the red line, and that's why it makes it, depends on interpretation. You might think that this is a more reliable channel than the big one with the two red lines. If you use the blue line, clearly the market broke this long, again, 10-year trend line and is below it by a wide margin. So this could be, but some people could say that is a sign of caution. The first stock that I would like to review again has been on top of our charts for a long time is Apple. And again, here I draw the same kind of channel from 2009. And as you can see, Apple has pretty large moves, but every time, the two times that bounced off this, touched this trend line, it bounced off of it and rose. So now the Apple has been correcting. Should we panic? The short answer is no. Why? Because we'll have to see. Maybe this trend line will hold, and once again, Apple will will appreciate. The danger is that if Apple follows the lead of the stock market, the previous slide, and goes down, then it could be a major problem. The next chart that I'd like to review is another great, wonderful company, Microsoft. And again, it's from 2009. I drew this channel. The stock always held, but when it touched this channel, and the upper channel line is this one. Uh, now, how do I draw this line? By drawing it parallel to this one. When it hit this line, Microsoft now is correcting and has been correcting less than Apple, as you can see, because it's still close to this point. So in a way, Microsoft has a long way to go before creating a danger signal by violating this trend line here. So obviously Microsoft has been much stronger than Apple and is still in this major uptrend, although one should not be surprised if there is a correction is ensuing and touches this trend line. It still would be a marvelous uptrend. United Healthcare is another great company, and again, this is the channel, the lower channel line, and you can see the stock bounced up at this point, at this point, at this point, at this point, at this point. So this is a solid uptrend line. And then I drew this second line here parallel to the lower line, and this shows a nice, neat uptrend. Again, United Health shows the same type of correction that Apple is showing, but it's still in a marvelous uptrend. What the issue could be if United Health violates this trend line on the downside, then it would signal a major change in trend. Finally, I'm going to look at Visa. Visa, the same thing, had a nice trend line here. I drew the parallel line, this one, and it's correcting like Microsoft. So it's still in a wonderful uptrend, and even if there is a major correction from roughly 160 to 100, it still would be in the same uptrend. Again, the danger would be that if it violates this trend line, clearly being in a weak market, being so overbought by sitting here, probably has some risk associated with it. But again, I don't want to make a recommendation here. But the thing is that these have been great companies that I just reviewed in a marvelous uptrend, and even if they decline a little bit, they still remain in a nice uptrend unless they all violate the lower channel line. These are my three books that I wrote. This Profiting Bull Bear Market is a detailed analysis of what happens in the business cycle and how that impacts the stock market. This is used extensively in the Peter Duck portfolio, which I added since 1977. And these are two books that are much simpler, easy to use, and is about simple, easy portfolios that perform very well using backtesting, extensive backtesting. So you might be interested in looking at those books as well.